yourself, lose your mind, let your faith unwind. And when you psych this weapon of appetite, so take me over. Take my mind, you're gonna pray for the silence they want. Take me yourself, lose your mind, let your faith unwind. And when you psych this weapon of appetite, so take me over. Let yourself go.
I was lucky enough to kick 100 goals on 12 occasions. The first 100 that I kicked was back in '89, and then there was it was probably a long time before then. Obviously, I played at a few different clubs there, but next time was in '96, and then that was 11 in a row, 10 for Mornington, and then the last 100 at Dramana. The most goals I kicked in the year was 156 twice. I think that was 98. Probably when I look back now, it was a year that there was a lot of goals kicked back then, and I was probably fortunate enough to be in a good side too, that they delivered the ball fairly well and fairly often. So, and I was pretty lucky in terms of injury wise to be able to, I suppose, be able to play without too many injuries. It allowed me to kick those goals. So when I look back now, I think it's a record at this stage, the 11 in a row. And the other thing was I was getting a little bit older too, so it was harder and harder to kick. And I suppose today's footy too is a lot different, where they get a lot of numbers back, and Look, I played on a number of good opponents. You know, Tim McDonald from Pines. Me and him had some great battles. Guy Stringer from Pines too. We had some great battles, and Johnny Hines from Edithvale. We seemed to have some really good battles. You knew when you were coming up against them each week. It was going to be hard. Probably the thing now is probably the head gets protected a little bit more. Back then, if they didn't hit the ball, they'd certainly hit your head. So I used to cop quite a few across the head. Accidents all the time though. I think I've had my nose broken 14 times. I was quite well known at the Mornington Bays, the X-ray suite over there. So yeah, always going over there. But when I look back, I was pretty lucky with the injuries I've had, because you know, broken noses aren't like a broken arm. It still allows you to play football. So you know, looking back, and I was fairly lucky when you consider a lot of people miss a lot of weeks. So you know, to play for that long and only have a few injuries and miss a few games was pretty pleasing. But yeah, I didn't mind kicking a goal, so when I didn't mind celebrating either. So yeah, it was one of those things where you grow up. Probably my boyhood idol was Calvin Templeton. He was a forward, and that's probably where I modelled myself on. Used to get in trouble in the streets. We used to kick the balls up over the cars and take screamers on the cars and that, so always in trouble. But you really loved to take a high mark, and that's where it probably all stemmed from as a kid growing up. And the idols that you follow, you mimic them on the way, and I was always keen to be a key forward and always practicing and watching the key forwards, and I suppose that's what I end up turning out like. So yeah, when I look back now, all those the fun times. And I suppose the other thing, today's footy, that the real high marks goes out of it a bit, and I look at that, and I think back when we used to come out to start footy training, there used to be one ball between 20 blokes up each end, so if you couldn't take a mark, you wouldn't get the ball. So you know, the old pack marks used to get taken, and I suppose that gets taken away now, because we're lucky. You know, when you come out to warm up, you get a ball between two, so you don't get that opportunity to take those marks. So when I look back now, and you know, you look at the blokes that I grew up watching with Modra. I loved watching Modra, Kappa, those type of blokes that take the big marks. You know, they would have grown up in the same era where there was one ball between 20 blokes, and I suppose that's where you learn your craft. And when I look back now, and that's somewhere I was a skinny kid, and that's the only thing I could do was jump. So yeah, so obviously kicking the goals was a byproduct of the marks you get to take. I never relied on my pace. It was probably my marking was my strength. I was probably slow, and I really had to use my body and be quite strong and protect the ball drop. So that's where my strength was. If I was on a lead, most fullbacks would mow me down with the pace they had. So you know, if I look back, the one thing I wish I had was pace. Might have made me go that little bit, that step further in my career. But yeah, quite proud of the fact that I've contributed. Obviously, when you play in that position, if you're not kicking goals, you're not contributing. So when I look back, that's just probably the role you have to play. Kicking goals is a role you play. Most goals I've kicked in a game was 2005, my last home game, or it was to be my last home game in round 17, as I was retiring from Mornington, and I needed 10 for me 100, so I was a little bit nervous heading into it, because I was just thinking, geez, I suppose the build up to kick 100 goals, you get a little bit nervous, and I kicked a couple of early points, and then I end up kicking 20. I was lucky enough to kick 20 in a row, so I think I had 8-2 at half time, and then kicked 2 pretty quick in the third quarter. Then after that, there was the weight off my shoulder, and I suppose when I was fortunate enough to kick 100 goals too, we had all the crowd run on, and I used to have Danny Nichols. He used to come out a streaker, or I think that day he had a electrical tape G-string on, so he's come running out with 100 written over his back, which I think he provided that for 4 years running. So it was a bit of fun, and I was lucky enough to finish that game with 20 goals and 2 behind. So when I look back, it's probably, I suppose you always remember those when you, I suppose, have kicked the record. So it was not a bad day, and I've actually got a painting that Mornington give me a painting when I obviously finished that year of that game too. So that's sitting proudly up in my lounge room at home. So 20 goals was look back now and proud of what I achieved that day. Look, the reason that I obviously had retired from Mornington as a player and a coach was I was really keen on taking my coaching to the next level, and I was fortunate enough to get a job with the Western Bulldogs as an opposition coach or a forward scout, where you'd go and watch the opposition and prepare for the coaches. And look, I accepted that, and then Dramana had rang me up that pre-season, and a mate of mine that I played with was my captain at Frankston, the VFA, had taken on the Dramana job, and Danny Monaghan from Dramana, he was the president and football manager, he asked if he could have a chat with me, and I ended up working out that I think there was about 14 Saturdays that I was available. Obviously with the AFL, we hardly ever played Saturday afternoon, so I thought, that was a good opportunity to keep playing football, because one thing I did I love the game and I love playing, so it allowed me to stay in the game and still play. And probably the one question I get asked is why I did leave Mornington and why I wouldn't play there, but I only thought, like coaching them for 10 years, it was only fair that the old coach wasn't around, so let the new coach come in and do it all his way. So it was probably an easy decision to, it was the end of a chapter for me at Mornington, so went down. I really enjoyed my football and helping the young kids. Played 3 years there. Our last year we played in finals, which was good because Dramana hadn't had a lot of success, and we ended up playing in the final series and ended up playing in the grand final. I think my last year we played in the grand final and just lost to Sorrento. So just the joy on everyone's face, all the old people from around Dramana, to see them taste a little bit of success, though we didn't achieve the ultimate, was pretty rewarding, and I really enjoyed my time there just as a player. I was assistant coach too, but it wasn't the same as being the coach, so I could just relax and play, and so enjoyed my time, really enjoyed my time back there. Obviously playing my 300th game or for the MPNFL at Mornington, coming back to Mornington was a huge highlight and something that I'm proud of. Also having the scoreboard named after me, that was a huge surprise, and something, when I look back now, something that I'm proud of. And The rep footballs, it was something I really enjoyed, you know, particularly when you're playing coach. When you went away with the MPNFL, you could just play, just enjoy. You didn't have to think too much about your footy, and we had some really good teams, and we won quite a few championships. So they were huge highlights for me, and also playing for Victoria and I probably didn't play that until I suppose when I was into my 30s. They were really enjoyable. We played the amateurs one year, then we went away for a carnival, the Australian Country Championships, which was huge honour. And I remember after playing a few years there, the one thing I really wanted was an All-Australian Guernsey. Not that you play anyone, but just the honour of getting picked in the best side in Australia. And my last year there, I was fortunate enough to be named in the All-Australian side. So I look back on that, and I'm really proud of, I suppose, what I've achieved. One, playing for Victoria, and the other making All-Australian. So when you look back now, it's there's a lot of fond memories. In 2005 too, I was fortunate enough to play in the EJ Whitten Legends game, which Mornington Football Club put me up for, and it was the first time they had someone, I suppose, from outside the AFL play. And when I look back now, it was something I really enjoyed, playing with all those legends of the game, and it was back when it was pretty competitive too. Now it's probably a bit more of a giggle, but yeah, I look back on that, and it was a highlight of mine. So after coaching Mornington for 10 years, I was fortunate enough to get a job at the Western Bulldogs in 2006 and 7, doing the opposition, being a forward scout, and that really helped me as a coach. I learned a hell of a lot under Rodney Eade, and also analysing the opposition was really good for my development as a coach. And in 2008, I was fortunate enough to do the goal kicking at Hawthorn under Alistair Clarkson, who was coach, and learned a hell of a lot out of him. I was really only a job over pre-season, so I set up that goal kicking program, and yeah, really learnt a lot off Alistair. He was a fantastic coach, taught me a lot. And then in 2009, I was fortunate enough to get a job as senior assistant coach under Gary Ayres, who's got a tremendous football brain, and to this day I formed a great friendship with him. But also what he taught me as a coach too, it was fantastic. And he'll always be a mentor, but also a great mate too. So. You know, I probably couldn't thank him enough for what he allowed me to do. So, and that allowed me to obviously go to the next stage of my coaching career, and that was a head coach at Frankston. In 2010, I was fortunate enough to get the position as Frankston head coach in the VFL, and look, that was I probably, when I took the job on, I didn't realise probably the position the club was in. We had hardly any senior players. There was probably only a few senior players, and no player really wanted to come to Frankston. I think they had the parting of the ways with obviously the previous coach, and there was some bad publicity there where we had no money and would be lucky to survive. So we didn't have too many players that wanted to come there. I look back on that first year, and you know, probably we only won, I think, the one game, but I look back and I'm pretty proud of the way the boys went about it, because we were really competitive for a half, but we just fell away like being a new side. very inexperienced. Always fell away after half times, but you know that I remember that Coburg/Richmond win was. You know, a win that you cherish, particularly with the side that we had. And one of my mantras, I suppose, from the start was, how do we become a club of choice? You know, because we didn't have money, we didn't have too many resources, and I suppose the key, or my main aim was, geez, if we could get some kids drafted, we'd become a club of choice. We'd get a lot of young players, because one thing with being at Port Melbourne, that I thought, geez, a lot of talented players here, but not enough players get the opportunity. So we were fortunate enough to get Michael Hibberd drafted at the end of the year, and that probably opened the doors where we got a few more wanting to come down. Then the next year, you know, we improved each year. Probably the thing I look back now is, after we got Mark Bagley drafted then at the end of the year, we got a good influx of young players, but again we lacked the top end talent, as in experienced players. When I look back and you see Port Melbourne win a premiership on a games average of 98, we never got it above 43 out of my five years there. So, and you know, we'd lose the kids through the draft, which was great, because there was more and more players that wanted to come to our club, but they were young players. The one thing that we did lack, though, was experience. So every experienced player we lost, we'd replace them with young kids. So, you know, you're always up against it until you got those, you know, 50, 60 games into the players. So when I look back on my time, my 5 years at Frankston, really proud of the fact that, you know, we improved each year. And it was probably the only thing that disappoints me is we weren't able to finish that. You know, the club once again cut back on everything, and didn't allow us as a group to, as coaches and players, to finish what we started. And but when I look back, you know, we had more kids drafted than any club in Australia. That's senior players. I'm not talking about the under 18s. I'm talking about as a senior club. So when you look back on what we achieved against, you know, clubs that, obviously AFL clubs that are full-time players, you know, we had a pretty good year. And the last year, I think we lost 8 games or drew 2 and lost a further 6 by a kick to 10 points. So, you know, we weren't that far away. So when I look back, and, you know, and being under-resourced too, you look back with what we achieved, with what we had, was, really, probably, you know, people go on about the premierships that won at Mornington. I'm probably equally as proud of what we achieved at Frankston too, given the resources and the climate that we were in. So yeah, look back there, and that's something I really enjoy, teaching kids, helping kids to achieve something or achieve their goals and where they get to. I look at Michael Hibberd and see what he's achieved now, you know, and just the kids that have been given the opportunity, and look back now, and yeah, it was really pleasing with what we achieved.
We've got a huge opportunity today. Who's it going to be? Who's going to take who over the line? Boys, take your teammate with you, all right? There's a lot of passion in this group. The standard that we've set over the last couple of weeks and the expectations on each other, what we expect of each other, are up there too. We've raised the bar each week. Today's no exception, boys. We take the game on and we raise the bar again. Start of the year. This is a contest. This is a test. This is a test of courage for us, boys. All right, and this is where we dig deep and make sure we all play our role. We run the ball up, we hit targets, use the hit-ups, all right? Play the percentages. Don't just bomb away. Let's use each other, all right? Run shotgun with your teammate, all right? Help each other out, and let's make sure we impact the scoreboard. Come on, man. Getting our hands on it enough. 12 inside 50s for 6, all right? Hey, there's a lot of luck in football, but you make your own luck. Make sure at three-quarter time that we can look each other in the eye and say, we've given our all right? We've had that trust. We're a damn good side, boys, if you're prepared to work hard for one another. Let's make sure. Options. Protect the ball carrier. Options so he's got numbers, all right? And we close their space down. Pretty simple. Hey, how much water we got, boys? How much water, boys? This is where it is. This is what we wanted to be, all right? We welcome this at the start of the week. What's the score? There's bugger all in it. Now, we spoke about it three-quarter time. We're not going to save this game, boys. We've got to take the game on. You've got to run. Everyone's got to dig deep. You know, and we speak about it all the time. You think of everything in your life that you've worked so hard for and you've got and you've achieved and how proud you are of it. This is one of those opportunities that if you work hard enough, the rewards will come. But we've got to work hard together. Believe me, you'll come off this ground so proud. If you're prepared to work hard, you dig deep and we take the game on. Come on, boys. For three-quarters of football, we could say we give it our shot. All right? Now, one thing we've got to remember, they're the premiers from last year. They're a good side. Take nothing away from them, they're a really good side. And that experience that we had today will help us in the long run. All right? And I don't know if we had all the momentum in that third quarter. You know, we really got ourselves back into the game, but we did make the most of our opportunities. So let's not drop our head and sulk about losing. Let's learn from it and make sure we move on. We didn't have the run, we didn't have the sprint today, but hey, we'll freshen you up during the week and we'll make sure, come North Ballarat, we're driven. Right, boys, we're driven.
After leaving Frankston, at the end of 5 years, I applied for a couple of jobs. I was in for the Essendon development job. I spoke to a number of local clubs after leaving Frankston, but most local clubs wanted to appoint someone end of September, early October, and as I was in interviews, I think I was in interviews at Essendon until the middle of October, and their job wasn't finalised till the first week in November. And by that stage there wasn't too many coaching jobs around, and other than over in Tassie, I nearly went over there, but it was probably the family. It would have been hard to, obviously Tassie's not far away, but it would have been hard to live in two states. So then I was just thinking about having the year off and just, I was studying football. And then I was fortunate enough that probably, it would end up being a good time, was Cranbourne Football Club were looking for a coach a couple of weeks before Christmas as they parted ways with their coach. So it probably come around at the right time because I was really missing the coaching side of things. I love working with the kids, and yeah, it ended up being a really good fit. They come along, and the rest is history. I've been coaching them since late December and to this present day, and really enjoying my time and back in the chair at coaching. And hopefully the boys get to really enjoy some success at the end of the year. Also, at the end of my career, I suppose when I look back now, I was fortunate and very fortunate to be named in the MPNFL team of the century. Something that now looking back, very proud of that fact, and also the team of Mornington's team of their time. So I was actually full forward and coach. So something I look back now and are very proud of. gloves came out one year when I was at Frankston. I actually, I used to only wear them on wet days, but this particular day I just broke my cheekbone and depressed fracture the eye socket, and I wanted to play that week and just take my mind off the injury. So I had the operation early in the week and played that week, and I think I ended up taking 18 marks that day on a still day. So, you know, it became a superstition from then on to wear the gloves. That's how they came, and they were part of my game, I suppose, my game routine for the rest of my career. Routine, it probably didn't come until later on in my career, probably I think around 27. When I was young, I used to just kick and hope, but the routine actually it gave me a focus. And one thing I was pretty proud of was the fact that I was able to kick very straight, and that I go back to my routine. My routine was pretty simple. I went back, picked the target, went back in a straight line, and then kicked to that target. I think too many times today where everyone just aims for the whole goal, so you know, we can always hit a target on the wing. So that was my philosophy behind my routine, and it held me in good stead for the rest of my career. Yeah, a couple of the funny moments and defenders that I played against. There was one fella from Chelsea. He came to the league, or someone told me he came to the league. He was a interleague fullback in the Southern League, I think, and he came over to the league or someone said to play on me, and he made some comments earlier in the year that there mustn't be any good fullbacks because he sees this Simon Goosey kicking 100 goals, you know, a few times. So look, we're coming up to Chelsea this round, or way back then, and I actually nicked my hamstring the week before, and I was pretty determined to play on him. I don't mind a challenge, and so I went down to see Dr. Death. He rubbed me about 3 times that week, got me up. I still could feel it, but I felt I was probably a bit more experienced where you could play within yourself, and probably something I never relied on was my pace. So the hamstring wasn't so much of a worry. But yeah, I remember, I think I went off, I probably took a mark at about the 25-minute mark of the third quarter, and I remember saying to him, I said, hey Terry, this is number 11 and now I'm going off. I told him I was going off because I had to rest my hamstring. So the game was in the keeping, so that'll always go down as a funny memory. And also when we played Pines, a young fella, Peter Banney, he played on me in the last game. It was funny because we were playing Pines in the last game, and we're also playing him 2 weeks later in the second semi back in those days. And Peter played on me this day, and both of us, we couldn't lose top and they couldn't lose second. So I didn't really show our hands. I think I kicked 3 goals that day. I needed 3 for my 100. I kicked the third goal just before half time, and then I didn't do much after that. And this young fella was, you know, getting into me all day, calling me an old fella, and that I'm the launching pad of his football career. And yeah, I thought, geez, mate, we're playing you in 2 weeks. So the funny thing was, playing him in 2 weeks later, and here he is, and his mates were getting stuck into me. And never forget, he was in front of me, and it was the perfect ride. I got about at the 25-minute mark of the first quarter in the second semi, and I just happened to land on him, and as I was getting up, I said, mate, the only launching pad around here is you. And I said, I think this is the runner, because this is number 5, and I think you're going off. So, you know, always have a bit of fun with the defenders. They'd have a bit of fun with me. So yeah, that was when you look back now, quite funny.
This morning from the strangest dream.
biggest army the world has ever seen. We were marching as one on the road to the Holy Grail. Started out seeking fortune and glory. It's a short song, but it's a hell of a story when you spend your lifetime trying to get your hands on the Holy Grail. But have you heard about the Great Crusade? We ran into millions and nobody got paid. Yeah, we raised 4 corners of the globe for the Holy Grail.
the people who make country footy, like this WorkSafe country football legend.
I kicked 100 goals 12 years, 11 years in a row. But, you know, as you know, that, you know, I don't go look back and I don't have a reunion for every year I kicked 100 goals. The thing you play football for is with your mates, what you achieve with your mates, and that's the premierships. They're the special moments in my career. They're the things that I look back on. The goals are a bonus, and the goals that I suppose me doing my job down at full forward.
WorkSafe, so you can join the legends at the footy this weekend.
Just a game I love. It's hard to explain.